Six Flags Discovery Kingdom in Vallejo, California is my home park, and I've ridden every coaster there, including some great ones and some not so great ones. And in this video, I'll be ranking these coasters up on a tier list. Before we jump into the tier list, I'll quickly go over what each rank means for the ride. So, if a ride is an F tier, it means I really don't enjoy riding this coaster and wouldn't ride it again of my own free will. D tier is just a step above that. Like, I still don't really like it, but if I had extra time, I would grab a ride on it. C tier is just any coaster that's very mid. Like, I don't like it, but I don't necessarily dislike it, and maybe I'd ride it if I visit. B tier is for coasters that are good as a supporting ride, and I will ride them on every visit, but they're just not the best. A tier coasters would be high quality rides I ride every visit, and that I would really look forward to riding. And finally, S tier includes elite rides that are the main reason I would go to their respective parks. Now, let's get into the actual list. Starting off in F tier, the worst ride in the park is, of course, Roadrunner Express. This is a cookie cutter Zamperla gravity kiddie coaster, and there really isn't much to say about this one. It's very short, although it does 2 laps around the course, and it's pretty forceless. I wouldn't ride this again on a regular visit. Next in F tier, we have Kong. Where do I even start with this one? This is a Vekoma SLC, which are already known for being one of the most rough and painful coaster models, but Kong is known to be one of the worst. I haven't ridden any other SLCs, but I can definitely believe it. The whole thing shakes back and forth and side to side the entire ride. And to add to that, there are uncomfortable over-the-shoulder restraints that sit right next to your ears. Now, if this ride does have one redeeming quality, it's a pretty forceful and intense coaster, but it's just not worth the pain. Staying in F tier, now I know there's a lot of these, but just bear with me here. We have Cobra, a Zero family coaster. This is a similar situation to Roadrunner Express, where it's important for the park to have, just for the family demographic. But it just isn't really exciting to me at all, and there are many other coasters in the same park that I would rather ride. The last ride in F tier is Boomerang. This is yet another cloned ride, a Vekoma Boomerang. This is currently the park's oldest operating coaster, and you can definitely feel it. This ride has a bit of a bite, but it's not nearly as rough as Kong. The layout is fairly intense, but pretty boring in my eyes, and it's not really worth the ride for me. Finally, moving up to D tier, we have Safari Sidewinder. This is a Zamperla spinning wild mouse. It's definitely a family coaster, but it can be pretty fun if you off-balance the cars in order to spin more. This ride has some decent laterals over the hairpin turns, and weird airtime at some parts, like it has a random double up halfway through the ride. Overall, it's pretty okay, nothing special though. In C tier, we have Batman the Ride, over in the DC Universe section of the park. Batman is an SNS 4D freespin model that stands 120 feet tall. Your ride experience on this can vary from ride to ride, since the amount of times your seat flips is pretty random. Sometimes you just get 1, but sometimes you might get 3. This ride is pretty smooth and comfortable, and I know some people who would definitely rank it higher than me, but I think it's kind of a forgettable ride. Next up, for our first B tier ride, we have the Flash Vertical Velocity. This is a very unique intimate impulse coaster, since the park basically lied to the city about its height, resulting in Flash being modified to have an inclined spike on one side. The inversion on the spike provides excellent hang time in some of the middle rows, and the vertical back spike in the back rows is also really fun. This ride has a pretty good swing launch as well, making a pretty solid and fun supporting coaster. Sadly, it is standing but not operating at the moment, so hopefully the park can reopen it soon. Next in B tier is Superman Ultimate Flight. This is a premier ride Skyrocket 2, the first one actually, and it is superior to the rest since it operates with lap bars only rather than comfort collars, which, believe me, do not live up to their name. This ride has a good swing launch and a couple of whippy moments. You get epic hang time on the inline twist at 150 feet in the air. The ride also has 2 great moments of ejector airtime, one when you ascend to the tallest part of the ride, and another dropping off of it. Superman rounds out the top 3 of this park, and is a must-ride if you are planning to visit Discovery Kingdom. Our only A-tier coaster in the park is Medusa. Medusa is a B&M floorless coaster. When most people think of Discovery Kingdom, they think of this ride, and for good reason too. This is widely regarded as one of the best floorless coasters in the world. It stands 150 feet tall and goes through a whopping 7 inversions, including a vertical loop, dive loop, 0G roll, sea serpent roll, and 2 corkscrews. While these are all fun, the best one is definitely the 0G roll. The way you get whipped through it while floating out of your seat is fun every time, especially if you are not stapled. The park would not be the same without it, but it is not my favorite ride there. Finally, we have Joker, the only ride at Discovery Kingdom that I would consider S tier. I do agree that it's one of the weaker RMCs, but that doesn't hold it back from being a world-class ride. It definitely has the best first drop in the park, which is 100 feet tall at 80 degrees. The ride is filled with ejector airtime and fun inversions, and it does all of this with only a lap bar. I don't know about you guys, but when I go to Six Flags Discovery Kingdom, Joker is the main reason why. Alright everyone, that does it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this new video style, and let me know in the comments if you'd like me to make more of these for other parks, or any suggestions for future videos. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe because it would really help me a lot. See you guys next video.